Hello, lone wolves. Have you ever met someone whose behavior completely defies what you would normally expect? Perhaps you encounter a person who seems calm, composed, and almost reserved, only to suddenly take a bold, surprising action that leaves everyone around them in shock. If this sounds familiar, there's a good chance you cross paths with Sigma male, one of the rarest and most enigmatic personality types in society. Sigma males are independent thinkers who forge their own path without relying on societal approval or validation. They operate on their own terms, guided by an internal compass rather than external influences. Typically, they maintain a quiet, observant presence, often blending into the background. However, beneath that composed exterior lies an unpredictable spirit, capable of making sudden, dramatic shifts that catch even the most perceptive observers off guard. This raises an important question. What happens when a Sigma male chooses to abandon expectations altogether? What inner motivations drive them to make choices that might seem irrational or impulsive to others? In the following sections, we will delve into 8 unpredictable moves that Sigma males make when they decide to go rogue, exploring the psychology and reasoning that underpin each of these surprising actions. 1. Cutting off people without explanation. Picture someone who has always been actively engaged in conversations, quick to respond to messages, and genuinely invested in maintaining relationships. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, they disappear. Calls go unanswered, texts are left on read, and their presence on social media fades into silence. This sudden and complete disconnection can be jarring to those left behind, but for a Sigma male, this action is neither impulsive nor malicious. Instead, it is a deliberate and carefully calculated decision aimed at protecting their own mental and emotional energy. At the heart of this behavior lies what can be thought of as an internal scoreboard, an invisible ledger that Sigma males maintain within themselves. Every relationship is subconsciously evaluated based on trust, respect, and mutual value. When someone repeatedly drains their energy, breaks promises, or engages in manipulative behavior, the Sigma male's internal balance sheet tips into the red. Unlike others who might seek closure through emotional conversations or confrontation, Sigma males simply choose to walk away. They see no need for lengthy discussions or dramatic farewells. For them, the severance is clean, quiet, and final. To outsiders, this disappearance can seem cold, abrupt, or even irrational. But from the Sigma male's perspective, it is a supremely logical action. They liken it to closing a cluttered browser tab to free up mental space. It's about efficiency, clarity, and self-preservation. Silence becomes their most powerful tool, allowing them to cut ties swiftly without unnecessary emotional entanglement in their world. Protecting their inner peace outweighs the need to explain their departure to those who no longer serve a positive role in their lives. 2. Making drastic life changes overnight. Imagine a coworker you've known for years, a person who faithfully shows up every day in a crisp corporate suit, meticulously following predictable rhythm of the 9 to 5 grind. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, they arrive one Friday wearing rugged work boots, submit their resignation without fanfare, and announce that they're leaving to start a woodworking business. Or think of a friend who, over a single weekend, sells their sleek urban condo and moves into a rundown farmhouse in the countryside, vowing to restore it with their own 2 hands. These dramatic, overnight transformations are quintessential examples of Sigma male behavior, a bold rejection of the idea that who they were yesterday should define who they are tomorrow. When a Sigma male detects the creeping sensation of stagnation, they don't waste time crafting elaborate 5-year plans or waiting for validation from others. They pivot immediately, often with stunning swiftness and conviction. For them, routine can quickly become an invisible cage, quietly draining their vitality and creativity. To escape, they know they must act decisively and without hesitation. Every bold move is a deliberate strike against the slow, suffocating pull of complacency. To outsiders, such sudden changes can appear reckless, impulsive, even self-destructive. But hidden beneath the surface is a deeply rooted rationality. The Sigma male sees a clearer path, one that promises the development of new skills, a lifestyle more aligned with their values, and, perhaps most importantly, the intoxicating freedom of taking control of their narrative before doubt or external opinions can weigh them down. In their world, the courage to reinvent oneself is not a risk, It's a necessity. 3. Secretly mastering a skill and revealing it suddenly. Sigma males have a unique way of approaching ambition. They don't announce their goals or seek applause for their efforts. Instead, they commit themselves to the silent grind, working diligently in the background until they achieve true mastery. Picture a co-worker who leaves the office every day at exactly 5 p.m., appear and put in no more effort than anyone else. Then, out of the blue, they present a fully developed, self-coded app that transforms the entire team's workflow. Or imagine a neighbor who never once mentions any particular hobby, only to arrive at a backyard cookout bearing a perfectly smoked brisket, the product of countless hours spent refining the craft in secret. This strategy of hidden growth creates an unmistakable element of surprise. Sigma males consciously avoid revealing their pursuits too early, knowing that doing so often invites unnecessary skepticism, unsolicited advice, or distracting conversations. By keeping their ambitions under wraps until they can display concrete results, they bypass all the noise and let their achievements speak louder than any words ever could. The reveal is sudden, impressive, and completely unexpected, leaving those around them both stunned and curious. But their secrecy isn't motivated by a love of mystery for its own sake. It's rooted in a deep understanding of focus. Sigma males know that quiet, consistent effort, free from outside interference or pressure, produces far greater outcomes than loudly proclaiming intentions that may later become diluted or derailed. Their silent dedication becomes their superpower, allowing them to build expertise and peace. And when they finally step into the spotlight, it's not with promises, but undeniable proof of their capability for making significant decisions based on intuition alone. When a Sigma male makes a major life decision seemingly on a whim, it often leaves those around him bewildered. However, what looks like impulsiveness is actually the result of an intricate, silent process that has been unfolding beneath the surface for months, even years. A Sigma male's intuition is not a fleeting emotion or a vague hunch. It is a rapid, almost automatic synthesis of countless accumulated observations and experiences. Their minds act like finely tuned processors, gathering subtle details and patterns from their environment without drawing attention to the fact. When the moment of decision comes, it often feels like a lightning strike of clarity. Take, for instance, a Sigma male who suddenly quits a stable, well-paying job. From the outside, it appears reckless, but internally his subconscious spreadsheet has been carefully tracking the company's declining ethics, unfavorable market shifts, and his own waning sense of personal fulfillment. When the internal balance sheet tips past a certain threshold, he moves swiftly and decisively, wasting no time on second-guessing or outside validation. This reliance on gut instinct isn't blind faith. It's a strategy built on experience. Sigma males trust their intuition because it has consistently guided them well in the past. Perhaps they once sidestepped a shady business opportunity that later imploded, or they made a last-minute decision to pursue a path that led to unexpected success. Each instance reinforces their belief in the power of inner guidance. For a Sigma male, intuition isn't some mystical force. It is a honed and reliable internal compass, one they are willing to follow even when the world doesn't yet understand why. 5. Disrupting friendships by calling out unspoken issues. In a world where many people prefer to tiptoe around uncomfortable truths for the sake of maintaining harmony, Sigma males take a starkly different approach. They operate under what could be called a brutal honesty policy, refusing to let unspoken tensions fester beneath the surface. When they sense passive aggression, simmering resentment, or subtle disrespect within a friendship, they don't sweep it under the rug or pretend it doesn't exist. Instead, they confront it head-on, addressing the issue with directness and clarity that can be jarring to those unaccustomed to such candor. This confrontational style isn't born from a desire to stir up drama. It's rooted in a deep commitment to authenticity. Sigma males view relationships through a simple but powerful filter. True bonds are strong enough to survive honesty, while weak, superficial connections will inevitably shatter under the weight of it. They would rather risk discomfort or even the end of friendship than continue investing energy into a relationship built on pretense or unresolved tension. By calling out these hidden issues, Sigma males effectively curate their inner circle, ensuring it remains small, fiercely loyal, and grounded in mutual respect. To them, real connection is impossible without openness, and they are willing to endure the temporary fallout of brutal truth in order to forge relationships that are genuinely worth keeping. In their world, honesty isn't a weapon. It's a vital tool for building something real. 6. Unexpectedly confronting a bully or manipulator. Sigma males are often the silent observers in social settings, lingering at the edges where they can carefully study the dynamics at play. They are not quick to insert themselves into conflicts or draw attention unnecessarily. However, when they witness an act of injustice, such as a colleague being humiliated during a meeting or a friend being subtly undermined in conversation, they do not hesitate to act. Their response is swift, calculated, and strikingly effective. Without warning, the quiet observer becomes the sharp defender. Rather than escalating tensions through shouting or emotional outbursts, Sigma males prefer a more surgical approach. They may deploy a single, well-placed question, something deceptively simple yet devastatingly effective, such as, "Why did you feel the need to say that in front of everyone?" In just a few words, they expose a manipulator's behavior, laying bare the cruelty or pettiness for all to see. This precision strike shifts the entire power dynamic instantly, forcing the bully into a defensive position without the Sigma male ever needing to raise their voice. Importantly, Sigma males do not step in to earn applause or to gain social points. They are fully prepared to stand alone, even if their intervention makes them unpopular or isolates them further. Their motivation comes from a deeply personal code of ethics, an internal compass that refuses to tolerate cruelty or manipulation when it unfolds before their eyes. For them, allowing injustice to continue unchecked would be a betrayal of their own principles, and so they act not for recognition, but because their conscience demands it. 7. Dramatic shifts in personal boundaries. Sigma males approach personal boundaries as living, breathing structures, flexible, yet deeply rooted in self-respect. Unlike those who set rigid, unchanging limits, Sigma males adjust their boundaries dynamically, responding to the evolving realities of their relationships and environments. For example, a co-worker's light teasing might be tolerated for weeks or even months, dismissed with a shrug or a slight smile. But then, seemingly without warning, the Sigma male will put firm and unmistakable end to it, often with a single, measured statement that leaves no room for misunderstanding. To those on the outside, these dramatic shifts in boundaries can appear sudden, even harsh. Yet from the Sigma male's perspective, they are anything but impulsive. Behind every shift lies an invisible, meticulous process, an ongoing internal cost-benefit analysis. They weigh the emotional toll of tolerating certain behaviors against the value of maintaining peace or goodwill. Once the hidden threshold is crossed, once the cost of their self-respect or emotional energy outweighs any perceived benefit, they act decisively. There is no drawn-out warning, no gradual escalation, only swift, clear enforcement. This approach ensures that Sigma males preserve their integrity without wasting energy on prolonged conflicts or fruitless negotiations. Their boundaries are not walls built out of fear, but living fences constructed out of a fierce commitment to protecting their mental and emotional well-being. For the Sigma male, adjusting boundaries isn't about punishing others. It's about maintaining an internal ecosystem where authenticity and self-respect can thrive. 8. Disappearing to pursue a mystery adventure. Every so often, a Sigma male feels an irresistible pull toward the unknown, a deep, primal urge to break free from the familiar and plunge into something entirely new. When this call arises, they don't announce grand plans or seek approval. Instead, they execute what can only be described as a vanishing act. They might quietly book a one-way ticket to an unfamiliar place, power off their phone, and slip out of their everyday life without much warning. Their destinations are just as unpredictable as their departure. Hiking a remote mountain trail, writing a novel in complete solitude, or volunteering in a far-off village where no one knows their name. This sudden disappearance is not about escapism or running away from responsibilities. It's a deliberate act of recalibration, a sensory reset. By stripping away schedules, social expectations, and the constant buzz of external opinions, Sigma males are able to reconnect with their core selves. The noise of the modern world fades, and what remains is pure, unfiltered clarity. In these moments of solitude and challenge, they rediscover who they are, what they value, and where they want to go next. When they eventually reemerge, It is never as the exact same person who left. They return carrying new skills, fresh stories, and a sharpened sense of purpose that often confounds those who remain behind. While outsiders may speculate wildly, imagining midlife crises or secret affairs, the truth is far simpler and far deeper. The Sigma male disappeared not to lose themselves, but to expand their inner world and return stronger, wiser, and more aligned to their true path. Conclusion: the method behind the mystery. From an outsider's perspective, Sigma males often seem like unpredictable forces, mysterious, erratic, and difficult to categorize. Their actions can appear sudden or even chaotic, leaving others puzzled and grasping for explanations. Yet beneath this enigmatic surface lies a rigorous internal logic, one that operates quietly but with unyielding precision. Every move they make is guided by a deep commitment to freedom, authenticity, and personal growth. Sigma males are not motivated by the need for approval, nor are they deterred by the prospect of solitude. They are not reckless wanderers. They are deliberate architects of their own lives. Whether it's severing ties with those who no longer align with their values, standing up to injustice with sharp, pinpoint accuracy, or disappearing on a solo adventure to recalibrate their spirit, each action is a carefully measured step toward a life that only they can truly envision. Their decisions, while shocking to others, are never random. They are deeply strategic moves made with the clarity and courage to live on their own terms. So, the next time you witness a Sigma male vanish, reinvent themselves seemingly overnight, or fearlessly call out wrongdoing, understand this: their unpredictability is not a flaw. It is their greatest strength. It is the very quality that enables them to thrive outside the bounds of convention, forging a path that is uniquely and unapologetically their own. Do you resonate with the ideas I shared in this video? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're interested in more content about Sigma males, explore the other videos on this channel. Thanks for watching.